Gangster rap, R-rated homages, and the shell-shock of realizing that the world really is different these days. TMNT Mutant Mayhem is equal parts coming-of-age and midlife crisis. There's no question that Master Splinter defines what it means to be a great father and displays a sense of wisdom and respect. That doesn't go unnoticed by anyone in the audience. Still, it is a little questionable that he would let his teenage sons have deadly weapons.
That seems very dangerous.
Be danger for breakfast.
When it's shown that Splinter teaches the Turtles how to fight through old martial arts movies and educational videos he finds on VHS and YouTube, it's hard not to relate. Let's face it, most parents nowadays likely turn to YouTube at some point just to teach their kids something. However, that doesn't mean you give them weapons that could injure someone else or themselves. Sure, by the time we see them as true Ninja Turtles, they're well equipped to handle their sharp and dangerous weapons. But it needs to be remembered that they're still teenagers and have a reckless mentality that can't be easily suppressed. After all, they do nearly kill April with a ninja star when they're throwing their weapons at watermelons. And Donnie does get stabbed in the leg with one of Raph's sais when they fight the thieves in the garage. The Turtles would be nothing without their weapons, but putting these weapons in the hands of teenagers might not have been the most well-thought-out plan. Just saying. While Mutant Mayhem is a nostalgic experience simply because it's based on a long-running and meaningful pop culture franchise like TMNT, there's also some added nostalgia for adults in just seeing the Turtles be teenagers. Just watching the Turtles play around NYC and stay out past Splinter's deadlines probably brings most adults back to their own teenage years. It was a time when the responsibilities and stakes didn't feel as high, and there was so much life ahead of you that you got to fully live in the moment. Even the way they're just so unabashed about their energy and how much they get to be themselves is nostalgic of those teenage years. It's not to say there aren't pros to being an adult, but watching these teen heroes feels like an authentic trip back in time. It's an experience that instantly latches onto adult viewers and acts as a heartwarming and personal trek down memory lane.
Enough talk! I dream about fighting every night!
You've got a rage problem, right?
It's not a problem!
There's a flip side to feeling a little nostalgic for the years of being a rebellious teenager, of course. To be honest, parents and adult viewers will likely find themselves relating to Splinter more than they ever did before, especially when it comes to the Turtles disobeying his orders. When they stay out past curfew or keep their activities a secret, adult viewers will likely struggle not to side with Splinter a bit. After all, he did experience humans trying to harm him and his kids when he went to the human world, so his caution is justified, albeit maybe a little overbearing. The sheer idea of Splinter's kids not listening to him will instantly connect with parents.
Boys, where have you been? I've been freaking out!
Splinter's attempts to reconnect with his kids in slightly embarrassing but heartfelt ways easily speaks to parents much more, and that scene of him looking at photos of them all will probably hit adults right in the gut. Even the realization he has about his parenting and letting his kids make their own discoveries is a moment that adults will recognize as a lesson for them over younger viewers. So despite some parents and adult viewers coming to Mutant Mayhem totally loving the Turtles, they might come out relating with Splinter in a completely unexpected way. Despite being stuck in the sewers for most of their life, movies and pop culture are a prevalent part of the Turtles' DNA. Throughout the film, they're constantly saying movie references, and even find time to catch Ferris Bueller's Day Off one night at an outdoor screening. Yet, what'll stick for adult viewers through all the winks and pop culture nods is the impact that movies have on us when we were young, and how they shape us as people. The coming-of-age genre has always done a great job making audiences of that age think about what they're going through and have moments of self-reflection that make us better.
Let's surrender.
Never.
Adults that grew up in the John Hughes era of coming-of-age films certainly know that feeling well. Films like Ferris Bueller and The Breakfast Club found ways to capture the voice of that generation. Truthfully, every generation has some sort of film, show, or story they find that opens them up in a way they didn't expect. For the Turtles, Ferris Bueller represents the way they want to be perceived by humans, and the confidence they want to carry into each day. Even in the simplest sense, Donnie's love for anime is a part of who he is, and a key way he stands out amongst the group. In short, movies do really have meaning, and older viewers will see that with Mutant Mayhem. When the Turtles are trying to escape in a van carrying the last piece to Superfly's dangerous machine, Superfly catches up to them and bursts through the van doors. When he shows up, he says something kind of baffling.
6 in the morning, police at my door.
For younger viewers, this line might seem totally random and a little weird, but the cool adults in the theater may catch that it's actually a reference to the song 6 in the Morning by rapper and Law & Order SVU alum Ice-T. Given that Ice-T's rap heyday was back in the late 80s and early 90s, it's not too surprising that younger viewers wouldn't pick up on this reference. If you're a huge fan of 80s rap or grew up in that era, then it's certainly worth listening for this line and getting a little dose of nostalgia that's definitely targeted for more adult viewers. Or if you're a parent watching Mutant Mayhem, you could feel proud knowing one reference amongst all the other nods towards more modern cartoons, movies, and music. With Mutant Mayhem featuring so many different references and Easter eggs, adult viewers will quickly see the film as a kind of litmus test for how well they know modern pop culture.
Beyonce, Drake, that guy's the GOAT of all time.
As the Turtles start to make jokes about the internet or make references to iconic cartoon characters or musicians, you're basically either engaged and along for the ride or completely lost. For adult viewers, if you find yourself in the second camp, the crushing reality of realizing how old you are might set in. It's a tough pill to swallow. There's a specific moment during the van chase escape where a song plays that ties to the He-Man meme. That'll especially establish your age and knowledge of the modern internet. Mutant Mayhem is honestly such a perfect and simple pop culture test that it would be kind of fun to bring the whole family along and see what references stump people. Basically, adult viewers will likely come out of Mutant Mayhem either feeling younger or older than ever before. When the Turtles are ready to take on all the crime bosses connected to Superfly, they engage in a big fight sequence that's clearly inspired by an iconic action scene. With it being captured from the side and cut as one ongoing battle, there's no doubt that this scene is paying tribute to the hallway fight scene in Old Boy. With Old Boy still being culturally impactful and recognized, it's not shocking to see Mutant Mayhem tip its hat to an all-time classic. However, it's a reference that will almost definitely go over a lot of younger viewers' heads, given that Old Boy came out back in 2003 and has some subject matter that, to put it lightly, is not kid-friendly. It's not like a lot of younger viewers would even know of the film's existence. So this great nod to Old Boy and Mutant Mayhem is purely for adults. In a time where authenticity and bias are being heavily questioned when it comes to news outlets, Mutant Mayhem presents its own depiction of how the major news outlets can negatively impact society, something adult viewers will undoubtedly take note of. Just as the final battle against Superfly kicks off, news outlets are seen covering the event but blaming the Turtles and other innocent mutants for what's happening. There's even a reporter that questions if the mutants should be captured or killed, which is the type of reckless reporting that can be deeply harmful. Older viewers will easily see the deeper ties this sequence has to reality, and how important it is to prioritize fact-checking and patience over quick reactions with no basis. Mutant Mayhem surprisingly nails its depictions of how damaging unchecked media coverage can be. And adult viewers will definitely come away with strong thoughts about their media consumption and how they perceive the news. Along with its depictions of toxic news coverage, adults will also come to realize how cruel and even violent people can be towards something they don't understand. Sure, if any of us walked outside right now and some mutated versions of animals were walking around trying to talk to us, we would be understandably shocked, afraid, and concerned for ourselves. But that doesn't mean that we should want to see them dead or chase after them until they are gone from existence. Even just thinking about the one person Splinter talks about who chased them into an alley with a baseball bat, it's hard to wrap our heads around what made that person so hateful and vicious towards Splinter. Adult viewers will really come away from Mutant Mayhem thinking about how we need to learn to react towards people and ideas we don't know with a little understanding and genuine care. Otherwise, we'll just turn into violent savages that spew hate at everything we don't initially understand. It's a lesson that's more important than ever for all ages to understand, but will be something that adult viewers will connect with on a deeper level.
And hey, I know that's objectively prejudiced, but that's what Dad taught us.